today we got possibly the biggest news so far, whereby Tiger has formally committed to the Masters. He was asked in his press conference today. It was scheduled in for like an hour and a half. And he was asked, is he going to be playing? He said yes. He's going to try to. He was asked, does he think he can win? He said, I do. Crazy. So yeah, that's exciting. Like, just give you a little Tiger stat here. From 2004 to 2006, he had 1,466 putts from 3 feet and in, and he only missed 3 of them. Like, it's for a man who's 5 majors, he had 50% chance of losing his leg 14 months ago, and he's now back potentially competing at Augusta National Golf Club. Unbelievable. 15 majors from 87 starts. Yeah, incredible. So that's taken up most of the hype this week, and that might take away from a little bit of the Rory hype, or might take away from a few other players that sometimes get looked at a lot, where the media and the journalists are more focused on Tiger. So yeah, listen, it's gonna be a good week. Talking through a little bit of the field here. So got a few questions about certain players that people are interested in, which is always great. I'm going to let's talk a little bit about the course first. So the course actually been extended by something like 35 yards this year. It's 7,510 yards, pretty long. As we all know, the course is designed by Alistair Mackenzie. The rough isn't very penal. Putting, according to rickrungod.com, isn't really valued as much. So tee to green play is a lot more important, especially approach play and driving distance as well. It's very hard to get yourself in trouble with the driver in your hand, which least surprise is why is Bryson not done well here, but it's good. So yeah, value driving distance, value iron play, value around the green, and according to rickrungod.com, putting doesn't have as much of an influence. If you're a good putter, it doesn't determine if you're going to have success at Augusta or not. Been a few changes to the course this year, which is interesting. So number 11, which was traditionally the second hardest hole in Masters history, will now be 520 yards long. It's a par 4. And McIlroy visited the greens last week, visited the course, and he was hitting a 4 and a 6 iron into that hole now, which was, if McIlroy's hitting a 4 iron and a 6 iron, what's Kevin Kisner going to be hitting, or some of the shorter hitters? So that's going to be a tough hole. 18th has been lengthened by something like 13 yards, and the par 5 15th is now playing 20 yards longer at 550 yards. So then just to jump in a little bit about the course, Georgia has actually got one of the worst months of rain that it's ever received. And it's lashing rain today, and as of about half an hour ago, the players were taken off the course. So to me, that points out, and I've seen this all over Twitter, value the people that are going to be, that have a long carry with their driver, and are good with their long irons, because they won't get the firm bounce off the greens that they've got in other years. So putting a bigger emphasis on driving distance and approach play this year and around the greens. If you do have any players that you're interested in looking at, or you want me to look at or give you an opinion on, do drop them in the chat. I'm just flying through a few of the players here, specifically the top 10 in the world. I'll give my opinion. So we spoke a little bit about how iron play it's always a predictor of success at Augusta. And then this was released by Justin Ray during the week. Justin Ray at 21st Club, that greens and regulation. So if you have a par 4 and you hit your second shot, does it hit the green or not? If you hit the green on your second shot when you're supposed to, it's a green and regulation. So Matsuyama finished 7th. Okay, these are the last 7 winners of the Masters and where they ranked in greens and regulation. So Matsuyama in 2021 won the Masters. He finished 7th in greens and regulation. Dustin Johnson finished 1st. Tiger Woods finished 1st. Patrick Reed finished 21st. Garcia finished T2. Willett finished 6th, and Speet finished 2nd. So that's 5 out of the last 6 winners. 6 out of the last 7 winners of the Masters have finished within the top 7 of greens and regulation. So huge emphasis on iron play this week, and that's why I'm going to pick the one player that I've been raving about all week. But that's an interesting stat, and here's a trend that I can't seem to get myself off. As it was found out by Kyle Porter at CBS Sports, saying so here it is. 8 out of the last 10 winners were at 1.7 strokes gained tee to green or better in the 3 months leading into the Masters months. Only exception were Patrick Reed and Hideki Matsuyama. So who qualifies for that list this year? If we're going by 8 out of the last 10 winners, is that going to be a predictor for this week as well? To me, it says yes. Scotty Sheffler, Rory Mcilroy, who's very interesting, Justin Thomas, John Rahm, Shane Lowry is in there as well. Good Irishman, patriotic. Luke List, Joaquin Eamon, and Will Zalatoris. It's a really interesting list of 8 players who are just playing really well from tee to green, and they won't always have the best putters. But if 8 out of the last 10 players have accomplished that start or finished with 1.7 strokes gained tee to green the previous 7 months or the previous 3 months, yeah, I'm all in. Just to reiterate that list once more: Scotty Sheffler, Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, John Rahm, Shane Lowry, Joaquin Eamon, Will Zalatoris, and Luke List. Not sure if I mentioned him the first time. So yeah, no, it's a great stat, and it's something that I'll be revolving around a lot this week. Let's start getting off through the field here. So the world number 1, and I haven't done this by betting odds, but I have the betting odds open here in front of me. Scotty Sheffler. Okay, my thoughts. I love Scotty Sheffler this week. Obviously, as we all know, he's world number 1 now. He's won 3 times in his last 5 starts. But there's a few great things about Scotty Sheffler. So he has no weaknesses in the game. He's really good. He's good distance. He's good approach play. And his around the green game is pretty good as well. Number 2, his major record is incredible. Like 4 top 10s in his last 5 starts at the majors. Then you get into the iffier side of things, where his finishes at the Masters the last 2 years, he's finished T19, T18. So they were the 2 top 10s that he hasn't had in his last 6 starts. Apart from that, T8, T4 at the PGA Championship, T7 at the US Open, T8 at the Open Championship. But like, as we all know, he's playing better this year than he's ever been. And it points to good success for Scotty. And then people are going to say, oh, he's going to be tired. He's played too much. And I would have agreed with that. And I agree with that about Cameron Smith. But the thing is, Scotty Sheffler won 2 times in 4 starts, and then he goes to the WGC match play, plays 7 matches, and he manages to win that event as well. Just such perseverance there with him. And that's why I really like Scotty Sheffler this week. And it's not even just his major record. Like, the WGCs are also really, really strong events sometimes. And as we know, he won this one, the match play in 2022, and he finished 2nd in the match play in 2021, and finished 5th at WGC Championship down in Mexico. Scotty Sheffler just playing so well, and on top of that, he always performs in the really strong fields. Number 2 player in the world, John Rahm. So John Rahm is the only player in this field with 4 top 10 finishes in his last 4 starts at the Masters. He has impeccable course history here. He knows the place really well. He had 4 top 10 majors, 4 top 10 finishes in the majors in every single one of the majors last year, including that win at the US Open. Probably could have won as well at the Memorial, which was a really strong field, but then he got dosed with COVID. But yeah, Ram's just been playing so well this year. Not so much as of recently, his putter has gone a bit cold. But yeah, I think John Rahm's a really, he's coming in a little bit under the radar as well. Like, he finished T55 at the Players Championship, which was disappointing for him. He showed sparks of good play at the WGC match play, which I didn't get to see too much of, but I saw some of the highlights. He showed sparks of good play, but just a putter, he's lost strokes putting in 4 out of his last 5 starts, and he's lost strokes around the green on 6 out of his last 7 starts. That's just bad. So say what you'd like about Jon Rahm, and here's my next point, because we're going to get to the number 3 and the number 4 players in the world, who are Collin Morikawa and Viktor Hovland. So people are bullish on Morikawa. Not really Morikawa this week. People are bullish on Hovland this week. And just to give a little bit of stats about this, Justin Ray did a Q&A on Twitter last night, and they found something really interesting that I'm just going to find it here. Basically, the last 10 winners of the Masters tournament. Each of the last 10 Masters winners averaged positive strokes gained around the green in the 3 months preceding to their victory. So what that means is people coming in, past champions of the Masters, had good short game coming into the Masters when they won. And they've had positive strokes gained around the green. So who's this going to rule out? I'll give you the list of names, notable names that I came across earlier. The less notable names: Justin Rose, Sergio Garcia, Adam Scott. The more notable names: Brooks Koepka, Jon Rahm, Dustin Johnson, Collin Morikawa, and Viktor Hovland, all losing strokes around the green over the last 3 months. Is that going to rule them out? To me, yeah. I'm ruling them out, and I've got sagging about this all week. But it's just Augusta, you need a good short game on point. There's so many nuances, and you have to be able to control your ball and be confident in your game. Collin Morikawa, I can't remember what he ranks. He ranks like something like 155th in strokes gained around the green this year. And Viktor Hovland ranks 209th, because I was only looking him up yesterday. The thing about Hovland, okay, these are my bad points. The thing about Hovland is, and I keep going back to this point, the Players' Championship, he's the 12th hole, he's 300 yards, he's 29 yards short of the green, and he's in contention in the back 9 on Sunday. He's 29 yards, he pitches his ball over the back of the green towards the water, and then he's coming back, he gives himself a 20-foot putt, and he makes bogey. And you're screaming at him, you're like, man, you're top 4 player in the world. And he knows it himself, but that's why I'm not picking them this week. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is I really like course history here. So I want to know that you've played Augusta a number of times, because then you know a lot of nuances. And there was a really interesting quote that I heard earlier. It was, one of the caddies said, you don't read the putts, you learn the putts. So that when you get to Augusta, there are so many nuances that you have to learn to it. That's why you have to play a few times before we see players in contention. I suppose if you're looking for the good things about Collin Morikawa and Viktor Hovland this week, so they both have 2 starts at Augusta. Morikawa finished tied 44th, tied 18th in his last 2 starts, so a bit sparse out there. Whereas Viktor Hovland had 32nd and 21st in his last 2 starts, so a little bit more condensed, slightly getting better. If you want to bet either of them, fire away, be my guest, but I won't be relying on their short game this week, even though they're both incredible ball strikers, which I do like a lot this week. Moving on, and if you have anybody, do drop your player in the chat, and we'll do a quick dive on them. Patrick Cantley, 30-year-old. Okay, last week when I checked, he was 146. I think he's 147 in strokes gained approaching this year. Iron play just not good enough. And he's good around the greens, and he's good with the putter. Just the iron play has not been good enough this year. And that's what gives me the fear about Patrick Cantley. He's lost strokes in approach in his last 3 starts on tour. He's finished 33rd, missed cut, 26th. His record at the Masters is okay. He's had 2 top 20s in his last 3 starts, but then 2 missed cuts as well. So he's got missed cut, T9, T17, missed cut. And then my final point about Patrick Cantley here is he has 2 top 20s in his last 9 majors. Just unlike Scotty Sheffler, he doesn't really shine to the top he hasn't really shone to the top in the majors. But he did have a T9 finish here before, so I won't be betting him. His approach play not good enough for me this year, especially recently, and I won't be taking Patrick Cantley this year. Jumping into Cameron Smith. Okay, I know that a lot of people are going to be really bullish on Cameron Smith this year because, he's a really good putter. He's really good around the green, and he's improved his approach play a lot this year. Driving accuracy isn't valued as much at Augusta National Golf Club, so perhaps that one time where he hits a loose driver, it won't be punished as much as it would be at other courses. Okay, the good things, and he's sixth in approach this year, and we saw him at the Players. As we all know, he won the Players. He won the Century Tournament Champions this year. At the Players, he gave an exhibition in strokes gained around the green and strokes gained putting. I think it was like the best strokes gained around the green metric ever recorded at the Players Championship or at TPC Sawgrass. He's sixth in the world. A little nugget here is that only Tiger has ever won the Players and the Masters in the same year. And this is going to beat a little bit on my drum, is that Cameron Smith obviously played the Players Championship back in March. He hasn't played since. He's coming off this huge PGA Tour win where it's an emotional time for him, and he sees his family, and he's getting over the hype of this, and then he has to go play Augusta 4 weeks later. I just think it's spoken about a lot, like regression, seeing players coming back to their baseline. They have a good week, and they have an incredible week for them, and then perhaps they don't perform to that standard again. That's my only issue with him, but I'm not going to blame anybody for taking these 3 top 10s in his last 4 starts here at Augusta. That's the course history that we speak a lot about. And I'll touch on this a bit later with somebody else, but his results in major championships, he's only had 3 top 20s in his last 3 top 20s in his last 11 major starts, and 2 of them have come at Augusta. He does seem to love Augusta. I won't be able to get in on him because I do fear that he's after coming off that win at the Players Championship, and he'd be not an emotional wreck, but the emotional highs and the emotional lows, if you get me. Like I mentioned, if there's anybody you want me to check on here, we'll touch on some of the outsiders later as well, but if there's anybody you want me to touch on or ask about, do let me know. Okay, who am I getting to next? Number 7 in the world, my pick for this week, and I will hammer on this drum till Sunday evening. I've mentioned on every single podcast, it's not Dustin Johnson, it's Justin Thomas. He's 14-1 to win this week, and I cannot get away from him. I'll try. This could be a 10-minute rant, and I don't want to be a 10-minute rant, so I'll try to rank it down. Plain and simple. 5th in strokes gained approach this year. 16th in driving distance, which I'm really valuing this week, more so than other weeks. He's 35th in strokes gained around the green. He's been top 35 in that statistics ever since the season of 2015-2016. So good short game, good distance off the tee, and good around the green game. He's the only player in top 20 of the world to gain strokes and approach in every single tournament he's played this year. All right, that's all statistics and how well he's playing. He hasn't won in the PGA Tour this season, which I don't mind. It gives him potentially a little bit more hunger, but I just love JT this year. His finishing improved, then the course history. So his finishing position at Augusta improved every single year up until last year. So his 5 starts before last year, 39th, 22nd, 17th, 12th, 4th, 21st. Right, obviously 21st last year was the outlier, but he was in contention on Saturday, and then they have the rain delay, and he comes out and he makes an 8 on the very first hole they played. I think it was the 13th hole. I just love Justin Thomas this week. And then touch on that point a little bit more. He has Bones in the bag again, who's won 3 Masters alongside Phil Mickelson. Bones will be a huge asset to JT again this week. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what he does this week. Okay, so I've been asked with Rory Mcilroy. He's actually after my next one. The 8th best player in the world right now, as per the World Golf Rankings, Dustin Johnson. And people are raving about DJ right now. We all knew he was 2020 champion. And so why pointed this out to me earlier on WhatsApp is that he won the November Masters in 2020 when the course was a little bit softer. And this year, obviously they've had the rain for the last month and they've been called off the course today. Players have been asked to leave the golf course because of the excessive rainfall that has came down. And DJ has experienced potentially the same conditions again this week. I like DJ this week. His course history is there. We all know he won the Masters. That's great. Just looking at his Masters history here, it's just so good. 5 top 10s in his last 6 starts at the Masters, including the missed cut last year, but also the win in 2020. He went through a little bit of what I thought was a quiet spell, but he seems to have turned it around in recent weeks. So 3 top 10s in his last 5 starts. He has the distance off the tee. He has the good approach play, which has improved in recent weeks, and his ball striking has been a lot better. His around the green game, he's lost strokes around the green in 5 out of his last 6 starts, which I don't love about DJ this week. But whatever odds you're going to get, I suppose he's 14-1. That's not great odds. You can get Scotty Sheffler for 14-1. I won't blame anybody for taking DJ this week. He knows the course well, but yeah, fire away. I won't be taking him. All right, here is the one that I just got a question about. Rory Mcilroy. Okay. I had this podcast last night with the fairway finders who've just joined the pod, and I was sitting on the fence about Rory. Okay, here's the issue with Rory. 2018, and I've said this before, 2018 was Rory's chance to get it done. He's paired in the final group with Patrick Reed, and he comes out and he bogeys first hole or something, and it just never looks like he's in contention. Aside from that, he hasn't won a major since 2014. And he's been playing well enough on the PGA Tour, the European Tour this season, but I can't give a strong answer. All I can give here is the stats. Like, if he won the CJ Cup, the 18th at the Hero World Challenge, T12 at Abu Dhabi, where he hit that. I think it was Abu Dhabi. He hit the ball off the flag on 15th hole, and Colin Morikawa went on to win the Slink, the Dubai Desert Classic. He finishes third. He puts that ball in the water on the 18th. He's in contention. He's finished T10 Genesis, T13 at the Arnold Palmer. He's in contention. This week was actually his first week ever. This week was actually his first week ever to play the week before the Masters. Not ever, sorry, since 2013. Only his second week ever to play the week before the Masters, which I do like. And I mentioned it last week as well, that the best scenario for Rory would have been missed cut. Take all the pressure off him. He won't be asked as much about it in his press conferences. And he used to go and play a WGC match play, and then 2 weeks later, he'd be thinking about the Masters for 2 weeks. Where I like his approach this week was play the Valero Texas Open. If you get through Saturday and Sunday, all well and good, but just don't be thinking about the Masters much, because so much of Rory, as we all know, or as we all think, is between the head. And the course is softer this year, which is, to me, it's great for Rory. He can play a little bit more target golf. And his ball striking has improved a lot. Well, actually, not improved. It's always been really good, but he's gained 5.8 strokes and 6.6 strokes in ball striking in his 2 out of his last 3 starts. And his around the green game has been pretty good as well. So if you want to take Rory, I don't know if I'm going to take Rory this year, but I do like to play on Rory this week, especially with the softer conditions and with driving distance being a much bigger factor this week. Due to the soft conditions, I think it'll play much more into Rory's hands as well. Who else are we getting to here? Oh, number 10. All right. Let's do this one then. Xander Shelfly. All right. No, not taking him. Don't like Xander this week. Don't like him this year. He hasn't been playing great. He hasn't won a major. Point number 1. He's had, his major record has been impressive. He has I'll do the quick maths here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. There we go. So six top 10 in majors in the last 3 years, including a T2 at the Masters and a T3 at the Masters in 2019 and 2021. That's the good stuff about Xander, is that he always seems to contend. Here's the bad thing about Xander. And the other bad thing is Xander hasn't won since the Century Tournament Champions 2019. For a top 10 player of the world and a player of Xander's caliber, you're just expecting a little bit more out of him for that. And he hasn't really proved it yet. Last year, he gets in contention with Hideki on the 16th hole and he puts it in the water. Say what you'd like, it's just bad break. But his numbers are pretty good this year. He's gaining strokes ball striking in 5 out of his last 6 starts in the PGA Tour. Finished T12 at the Valspar, T13 at Genesis, T3 at the Phoenix Open. What odds is he even? He's 22-1. Don't hate that. But do what you want for Xander this week. I won't be betting him. And the fact that he hasn't won the PGA Tour since 2019, I don't love. And is he going to win the PGA Tour for the first time in 3 years at the Masters? I don't think so. So I am out on Xander Shelfly this week. Let me see. Who else have we been asked about? All right. So that's the top 10 in the world. Like I mentioned, if you have anybody that you want to mention or investigate, look at the numbers, let's just do it. I'm actually wearing my Masters cap. I don't know if you can see that there. From 2019. So I'm very lucky to have that. And I know I posted about that in my story, so we won't dwell on that. Okay, let's go. Joaquin Eamon. Get more towards the outsiders. And this is where the money is at if you can find the winner. So just to recap on what we said here. The weather has been really bad this year. The course has been lengthened, or not this year. The weather has been pretty bad over the last month at Augusta National Golf Club. That's going to place a bigger emphasis on driving distance this week because we won't get the firm bounce off the fairways. The course has been lengthened by 35 yards as well. On top of that, they mow the fairways back towards the tee boxes, prevent run out. So huge in driving distance, big on approach play, around the green game, huge on putting, not so big on. Even though last week I thought I was going to be big on it, but I reviewed some of the tools that I have, and I'll touch on Paul Casey just after this one, just because I have it up here in front of me, Greg. Joaquin Eamon, all right, 23 years old, just won on the PGA Tour this season, and I want to get his numbers up here because he is actually somebody that I like this week, even though he is very young. Joaquin Eamon, great ball striker, has a low ball flight, which I don't love this week, but he won at the Genesis. He came out after that and missed cut, but I don't mind the missed cut because sometimes if you're that age and you win a major or a major PGA Tour event such as the Genesis Invitational, sometimes, and this is what I touched on with Scotty Sheffler or Cameron Smith, the emotions just gets better off you and you don't come out and perform next week. But then he finished T22 at the Players and 35th at the WGC match play. He didn't get out of his group. His ball striking's been really, really good this year, which is what I like. And that's something, like I mentioned, time and time again, that I'm going to look at this week. He finished miscut T40 here at the Masters in his last 2 starts, which I don't love. I would have preferred if that. I don't mind one miscut. I would have preferred if him at T40. I would have been much more bullish on him if that was a T20. He has 2 PGA Tour wins and 0 top 20s in a major. That's the issue with me. He hasn't performed so far in these major events, but 2 PGA Tour wins and won the most recently in PGA Tour. He is young, he is maturing, which is something that I like about him a lot. And when we think about the fact that it's going to be a softer golf course this year, he can play a bit more of his target golf, and that is something that I like. I'm loading up his PGA Tour page here right now. Just want to take a look at some of his statistics because I don't always know these off the top of my head. Wow, I did not expect this. So he's 38th in strokes gained off the tee, 55th in distance, 26th in approach. That's all pretty good. He's 6th in strokes gained around the green this year. 133rd in putting, which I don't mind so much, but 6th in strokes gained around the green compared to last season where he was ranked 138. Seems like his around the green game has got a hell of a lot better, which I did not expect. I have not recognized that, but God, that makes me even more bullish than Eamon this week. I'm going to look up here what odds he is because he's 40-1. Same as Daniel Berger, same as Hideki Matsuyama. Yeah, I think I like that. I like Joaquin Eamon this week. All right, who else are we jumping into? All right, Greg, let's do this. Paul Casey, the man at the Players' Championship who's in contention on the back nine on Sunday, and he hits the safest shot I've ever seen on the 17th hole. As an each way bet, all right, let me just give you his recent form. His last 4 starts, his best finish was a T15 at the Masters. But before that, he went 6th, 4th, 6th. So he does have potential to get hot here. That 6th, 4th, 6th was between 2015 and 2017. Let's go into his numbers on tour this season because he has been in contention a number of times, especially that Players' Championship. And I was frustrated with the approach I took on the 17th hole. The strokes gained off the tee numbers have not been great, but that's all right because I'm not going to value that as much this season. His around the green game is pretty good. He gained strokes around the green in his last 2 starts. And his approach play has been very, very good. So, and by very, very good, I mean gained 7 strokes and 5.5 strokes in 2 out of his last 4 starts. He wasn't great at WGC match play, but WGC match play, he had a sore back. No, okay, that is my fear. Is that his back? He was going through those back spasms. Perhaps they haven't fully recovered yet. He's 40-1. No, not for me. I was actually bullish on him until I remembered that he had spasms in his back at the Players' Championship. So do with that information what you'd like. Let's go on here. Okay. Because I haven't seen anybody mention him this week yet. Tony Finau. No, don't do it. His putting is bad. He's like, when I checked last week, he was ranked 203rd in stroke gain putting. Oh God, can I not talk anymore? He was 203rd in strokes gained putting this year. And I'm going to get a more updated one here. So I want to see the rest of his numbers because I know his general play has not been great. Around the green, he's been stink as well. His approach play has got a little bit hotter again. He gained 6.3 strokes at the Genesis Invitational, but he's gone his best finish in his last 7 starts has been a T28. No. He's not going to get it done this week. He's not going to be in top 10. I wouldn't bet on Tony Finau at all this week. Who else are we going through here? Okay. Let's do Corey Connors because he was 66-1 last week, and somebody messaged me saying he was a rob. And when I looked at his numbers last week, I came around to it a lot more. He's 32nd. He was 32nd last week. In the World Golf Rankings, he has 1 win on the PGA Tour. He's still 32nd in the World Golf Rankings. He's 1 win on the PGA Tour. He turned pro in 2015. He's from Canada. That's the details that we don't need to know. What we do need to know is how is he playing and how is his record at Augusta National Golf Club. So he finished T35 at the Valero Texas Open, which is not bad. Let's just see what he did wrong or what he did right. Struck the hell out of the ball. All right. Corey Connors, he's 40-1 now, what I'm looking at here. He was 66-1 last week. He's gone T11, T26, third, and T35 in his last 4 starts. He's gained over 6 strokes ball striking in 3 out of his last 4 starts, and in the one that he didn't, he gained 3.6 strokes. Around the green, he's been okay. He's gained strokes and around the green in 3 out of his last 5 starts. His record at Augusta. Okay, this is the thing, and we mentioned this earlier on about Cameron Smith, where Cameron Smith doesn't. I want to get his numbers here. Cameron Smith doesn't have that pedigree potentially for the majors like a lot of other golfers. So 2 top 10s in his last 11 starts at the majors for Cameron Smith, but 2 of those have been a T2 and a T10 at the Masters. He also had a T5 at the Masters in 2018 as well. So we're not always going to narrow it down to major championships, but Corey Connors is 40-1. He's finished T8, T10 here at Augusta National Golf Club in his last 2 starts in 2021 and 2020. So, yeah, I'll 100% be betting Corey Connors this week. I think it's a really good number for the fact that he's been playing well and he has good record around Augusta as well. Yeah, count me in on Corey Connors. Let me see who else we're going through here. If you are watching this live, like I mentioned, do drop your players below. I have 3 other players I want to touch on. Yeah, all right, 3 other players I want to touch on. Show skin. Yeah, maybe later. I'll send you a Snapchat or something. All right, Shane Lowry, because everybody loves Shane Lowry. Let me go through. So when I'm talking about Shane Lowry, I want to re-emphasize this stat again that Kyle Porter tweeted out, I think it was last week. Past champions at Augusta National Golf Club, 8 out of the last 10 Masters winners were at 1.7 strokes gained tee to green or better in the 3 months leading into the Masters month. So the only exceptions were Patrick Reed and Hideki Matsuyama. So there's a list of 8 players who meet that criteria, and one of them is our man Shane Lowry, who I think has a really good chance this week. He's, like as that stat says, he's striking the hell out of the ball. He has a good enough short game to get around. Shane Lowry's a good enough short game to get around Augusta National Golf Club. He was unlucky not to win the Honda, where it started raining on his 18th hole, and he finished second to Sepp Straka. He finished T13, T12 in the next 2 starts, and 35th at the match play. Didn't make it out of the group. Yeah, like we mentioned, striking the hell out of the ball so far this year, and his putter has been hot. His around the green numbers have been pretty much a meh, but I like it. I like his record at Augusta as well. He's finished T25, T21 in his last 2 starts here, and he's played it on 6 occasions. He is 33-1, which isn't always great, but yeah, Shane Lowry is striking the ball. He's absolutely hammering. He's one of 8 players. He's in top 8 players of strokes gained tee to green over the last 3 months. And his around the green game, as we all know, can be good enough. He has the course history here at Augusta, and his putter has been flying hot on the PGA Tour this season. Let's go through 1 or 2 more, maybe 3 more. So somebody else that I'll just write in. Max Homa. All right, let's see what odds Homa is at. I mentioned on my podcast last night, and somebody told me that we should get him at 80-1. All right. Max Homa, I'm currently seeing him at 66-1, but somebody told me earlier that there is an 80-1 out there for him. He's been playing really well on the PGA Tour recently, and similar to Shane Lowry, struggling the hell out of the ball. He's had 4 top 17 finishes in his last 5 starts, 6 top 17 finishes in his last 8 starts, playing really, really well. But like they're all kind of top 20, so he's only 1 top 10 finish. which is at the Genesis Invitational, where he actually did finish T10. But he's striking really well. His around the green numbers, he's gained strokes around the green in 3 out of his last 4 starts. Porter's gone a little bit colder on him, which I don't mind as much this week. I think Max Homa, just for 66 to 1, or if you can find him at 8 to 1, I think he's a really good bet. And then when the thing that's probably inflating his number is the fact that he's missed a cut at Augusta in his last 2 starts, which isn't always ideal. But yeah, I think Max Homa is a good bet if you can get him at 66 or 88 to 1. All right, let me touch on somebody here really quickly before I get to my final suggestion, unless somebody else has something different that they want to ask me. I forgot what I was going to say. Zach Johnson. All right, past Masters champion. Hasn't been playing great in the PGA Tour this season, but he has the course history at Augusta. The thing that would play out of his hands is the fact that it's really the rain has poured and he doesn't potentially have that distance to go the long way. But I do like Zach Johnson as a top 20 this season or this year. He finished 42nd at the Arnold Palmer. He finished 13th at the Valero Texas Open. He's made the cut in 3 out of his last 4 starts, and at odds of 250 to 1. I think it's just worth the punt. So yeah, do with that what you will. All right, last one here, I think, and I might just do a quick rattle off. All right, Jordan Speet. All right, so everybody's going through this tough time with Jordan Speet right now because he hasn't been playing well in the PGA Tour. But he is the man that everybody loves at Augusta National Golf Club. I want to get this stat before I rhyme it off here. Okay, of course, I can't find it when I need it. So Jordan Speet is 28 to 1 to be first round leader on Thursday at Augusta National Golf Club. And here are the best first round scoring averages in Masters history, minimum 5 rounds played. Charlie Hoffman is first with first round scoring average of 69.5. Number 2 is Jordan Speet, scoring average of 70.3. So then I know what people are going to do. They're going to go and they're going to look at his recent form where he hasn't played that well in the PGA Tour this season. That's going to frustrate people, and they're going to say, well, he has no chance here. But he finished 35th in his last 2 starts at the Valero Texas Open. And coming off the Valero Texas Open in his 4th round, he gained 6.31 strokes ball striking, his personal best in that category ever on the PGA Tour. So who knows? Maybe on that Sunday morning at the Valero Texas Open, he just found something in his swing. But then the thing that's going to annoy people is he was second last in the field at the Valero Texas Open in strokes gained putting. So Porter has gone a little bit colder, but listen, Jordan Speet absolutely loves Augusta National Golf Club. I want to find the exact number here. He has 5 top 3 finishes at Augusta in his last 8 starts. Last year, he's obviously playing pretty well, and he came into contention. Kind of came into contention on Sunday when he shot that low round. He finished T3. Jordan Speet. That's why I love him so much, first round leader. I don't think he's playing well enough that he can sustain it all the way through to Sunday evening. But he is Jordan Speet at Augusta, and I think he'd be a good bet for first round leader. Yeah. That is pretty much everything. Let's do a quick 30-second quick fire round on if I think they're going to finish top 20 or not. And we're going to go from the players at 40 to 1 down to 50 to 1. All right. Top 20 finish from 40 to 1 to 50 to 1. Bryce DeChambeau, no. He's going to, honestly, I think he missed a cut. He says 80%. Corey Connors, yes. love Corey Connors this week. Daniel Berger, I'm going to say no. I just don't love Daniel Berger. Hideki Matsuyama finished top 20. No, he's coming off that neck injury, which he said he still has. He is a defending champion, but no. Joaquin Eamon, yes, for top 20. Louis Oosthuizen, no for top 20. Matthew Fitzpatrick, I spoke about this a little bit on my kind of YouTube video last night. Matt Fitzpatrick, I actually like him at Augusta this year. He's made the cut in his last 6 starts at Augusta. Yes, for the top 20, and he's been playing okay this season. So let's not rule out Matt Fitzpatrick. Paul Casey, no. Back spasms at the Players' Championship. He's not going to finish top 20, if you want my honest opinion. Russell Henley, strikes well pretty. No, I'm not giving it to him. Tiger Woods. I actually can't believe I've gone this whole thing without. I mentioned Tiger at the start, and the fact that I said he just had a press conference 2 hours ago in which he said he was going to play. Tiger Woods, yes, top 20. Just don't bet for Tiger to miss the cut. There are so many past champions in this field, and amateur players in this field that will miss the cut. That I don't think we need to delve in and think that Tiger's going to finish missing the cut on Friday even. Do I think he finished top 20? I'm not bullish on it, but I do like it. I think that five Masters green jackets, he has it between the ears. He knows the place inside out, and I value course history more than ever, I think, this week. So, yes, to Tiger, top 20. Tony Finau, top 20, 40. He's 40-1 to win. No. Tyrrell Hatton. Oh, I probably should have touched on Tyrrell Hatton because I really like Tyrrell Hatton this week. Tyrrell Hatton, yes, count me in. His Masters form is okay. He's made the cut in 3 out of 5 attempts. He finished T18 here in 2021, which I really liked. And he's been playing pretty well on the PGA Tour this season. He was in contention at the Arnold Palmer on the back nine and finished T2. And I think he posted this Clubhouse lead there. But yeah, no, I love Tyrrell. Like his starts on the PGA and European Tour this season. What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 top 10s in the 7 starts on the PGA Tour on all tours this season. And there's only 3 other ones were a T21, a T13 at the Players, and a T28 at Saudi International. So yeah, I should have mentioned Tyrrell. Kind of a bummer that he's 40-1 this week. All right, how many do we have here? I think we have 4 or 5 left. Adam Scott, top 20. Yeah, count me in. I actually like this. I like Scotty this week. I think it's the fact that he's won here before, and his numbers last time I checked weren't actually that bad. So, yeah, he's been. I suppose his around the green game has been poor on PGA Tour this season, but yeah, actually, I do like Scotty this week, and he finished T4 Genesis He finished 9th. He made out his group WC Match Play. Yeah, put me in on Adam Scott this week. Mark Leishman. So Mark Leishman to finish top 20, yay or nay? Yeah, put me in with Mark Leishman. So Mark, this up my Instagram story this morning that Mark Leishman hasn't been playing that well. He's off strokes ball striking in his last 3 starts in the PGA Tour, but he does possess a really good record at Augusta National Golf Club, which is something, like I mentioned 2 seconds ago, that I'll value more than ever this week. He's 3 top 13s in his last 4 starts at Augusta National Golf Club, including the T5 last year, and he's played the course for 9 times, and I actually bet him last year when he finished T5. I do like Mark Leishman this week. Sungjae Im. So is he going to finish top 20 or not? And he's a player that's got absolutely no attention from what I've seen. He finished T2 at the Masters in 2020 when it's a little bit softer conditions, which is what we're expecting this week. But then he missed a cut last week. Sungjae hasn't been playing that well on the PGA Tour this season, like 1 top 20 in his last 5 starts. He's lost strokes off the tee in his last 3 starts, lost strokes in approach in his last 4 starts. Putting in short game's been a little bit better. No, I'm going to say no to Sung Jae. He finished T50 players, which isn't a good course correlation, but I'm going to say no to Sung Jae finishing top 20 this season. Sweet. That's pretty much it. Run through a few more here. Tommy Fleetwood, top 20. Hell yeah. Max Homa, mentioned him already. Hell yeah. Thomas Pieters is an interesting one because I've heard a few people on about him because he's like top 10 in this field in terms of bunker saves this week, where the bunkers at Augusta National Golf Club are very, very tough. Yeah, I like Thomas Pieters at 80 to 1. You probably get him at 100 to 1. So Luke List is one of those players that's gaining 1.7 strokes tee to green on the PGA Tour this season. So he's one of 8 players, and 8 out of the last 10 Masters champions have been gaining 1.7 strokes tee to green in their 3 months leading up to this per round. Luke List was on that. He's 100 to 1, and he won on the PGA Tour this season, made the breakthrough. 100 to 1 is pretty good odds. I like him. Robbie Mcintyre is 100 to 1, and I can't believe that he's 100 to 1. I know he's in this field. Well, he was guaranteed to be in this field because he finished top 12 last year, and top 12 at the PGA at the Masters Championships always qualify for the next year. He finished 9th at the Razak. He finished T15 at the Genesis Invitational. He played well here in his first start last year. I like Robbie Mcintyre. Harold Varner III. I won't dwell on this, but somebody that I follow on Twitter and follow their articles runs a model where they assign certain percentage weights to each of the categories. So it could be course history or it could be strokes gained approach. You might allocate 7% of your 100% to strokes gained approach. Harold Varner was 19th in his model, which is very, very impressive, considering he is. So it was. I've lost him now. Harold Varner. I think it's like 100. It could be 150. Oh, he's 125. Yeah, I don't hate Harold Varner this week. Sweet. That's pretty much everything. Gonna be a great week. We've been talking here for 53 minutes. I'm excited. I think, listen, the Masters is always unique. I think there's a good chance to make money. There's always the same players here who play well year after year. The top 10 nearly all top 10 have a pretty good record at Augusta National Golf Club. Tiger's going to be back. He just announced it today. I honestly think he could finish top 20, even though he hasn't played a competitive PGA Tour event in 17 months. The weather is going to be bad. So, and I keep hammering this point, but March was one of the worst months that Augusta National Golf Club has ever got in terms of the centimeters or inches of rain that fell. And players were apparently, I haven't seen this, I've only heard one person mention this, that players were apparently pulled off the course today because it was raining so bad. So to me, here's what I think people should be looking at. Driving accuracy, no. Driving accuracy is not going to be that important this week because Augusta's always just pretty open. Driving distance, yes. And the fact that it's softer, you won't get them hard bounces off the fairways. So and value that a little bit more. Approach play every single year. Approach play is like one of the key indicators of players going to play well or not. And we had Hideki, we had Dustin Johnson, Tiger Woods have all won at Augusta, and they're all good ball strikers or good iron players. And as well as that, the course going to play a little bit tougher this year. Value strokes gained around the green. Value players that can get up and down from off the green, but not placing a huge emphasis on strokes gained putting. Sweet. I need to do my best bets. For me this week, the players I'm going to be looking at, Justin Thomas, unbelievably bullish on JT this week. I think he's a really good chance. Who else? Tyrrell Hatton, yes, putting him in. Max Homa, yes. Shane Lowry, not putting him in just because I'm a patriotic Irish guy. I honestly think he's a really good chance this week, and I like the way that he's building up to this. I am fade. Who am I fading? I'm probably going to fade Mark Howa and Victor Hovland. Yeah. All right. Listen, we'll have a great week. Might do something different where we go live after each round, do a quick catch up. Who knows? Listen, it's all hypothetical. Anything could happen, but I'm so excited. My personal second favorite major of the year after the Open Championship. Been to the Masters before in 2019. Just love to play so much. That's great the way to play it. Same course every single year. Unreal event. All right, guys. Listen, thanks very much, and I'm sure we'll be in touch soon.